It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Union Trophy remains with the Michigan State Spartans. And what a game, Joel Klatt.
That was one of the best college football games I've seen in a long time. You got to give a ton of credit to this Michigan State team. The toughness, they didn't quit. It didn't look good early. A couple of turnovers, big plays from Michigan, and they just kept coming. And finally, they were able to snatch those Wolverines, drag them into the deep, and take them under.
The final score here at Spartan Stadium. The Michigan State Spartans remain undefeated as they defeat the Wolverines 37-33. Coming up after the break, we'll take you out to Colorado at Oregon. For Jenny Taft, Joel Klatt, I'm Gus Johnson saying so long from the great state of Michigan.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass on Fox 47. Yesterday was well worth the wait and one of the best games in a Michigan State series that began in 1898. And no, I wasn't there for the first one, just the last 53 of them. Yes, we'll touch on the Lions' latest atrocity and the World Series, better known as the ridiculous and the sublime. But first, it's time to welcome Team 422, our two most frequent guests in the first 8+ years of Press Pass. Rico Beard, longtime Detroit radio and TV personality, recruiting insider, and co-host of the Valenti Show with Rico on 97.1 The Ticket. Rico, I saw you yesterday at Spartan Stadium, but who was the first person that you wanted to message, text, or tweet? And how'd you spend last night?
Hey, Jack, how you doing? Yeah, last night was a long time. I had to do a couple of radio hits afterwards. I texted a couple of former players. I texted a couple of coaches, friends, college roommates. I mean, we just had a ton of fun last night. It was a big celebration. Called Mike on the way home. So we had fun, Jack.
And Tom Crawford, Blue Belly Tom, my broadcast partner for 19+ years, a regular contributor to the Wolverine.com, creator of the Crawford Podcasting Network. Tom, I know you're at Crawford Indoor Stadium. You weren't taking a lot of tweets or texts, I'm imagining, last night. How was that evening for you?
Well, unfortunately, the best thing about yesterday, I did not receive a text from Rico Beard, so I appreciate that part. But we'll break that all down, I assume, coming up here, talking about Michigan State.
You got it. Going Green up next on Press Pass.
Don't live a common life. March to a different beat. Dance your own dance. Be bold. Be purposeful. Stand up for what's right. You're here for a reason. So use your God-given gifts to serve your neighbors. Because you know that all people deserve dignity and love. When you live life like that, it's uncommon. Concordia University, Ann Arbor. Live uncommon.
Welcome to BetMGM Live Dealer. All your favorite casino games. Blackjack, poker, roulette, craps, and more. All on your phone, desktop, or tablet 24/7. Play with friends or make new ones at the tables.
Double down, Dave.
Chat with players and live dealers like you're at the casino.
Give me a 10.
Yes! Now you're betting with the king of Live Dealer.
Get a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 when you use bonus code LiveDeal.
Morning, Michaela.
Hey, Deb. I just put on a fresh pot.
Ooh, nothing like more in the morning.
Start your day with Fox 47 Morning News, weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m.
Then stick around for Live with Kelly and me.
Think of it as a second cup of coffee.
Hey, guys. Have you ever tried starting your day with a smoothie? Catch me, Dr. Oz, weekdays at 10.
Grab your favorite mug and join me for the Drew Barrymore Show, weekdays at 11 on Fox 47.
Get more in your morning. Weekdays starting at 6 a.m. on Fox 47. Watch Fox 47 Morning News weekdays from 6 to 9 and you could win $200 with Foxgiving.
When you take a look inside Dart Bank, you'll find a banking experience like no other. you'll find that each of our banking offices are made of local people making local decisions. Even through these challenging times, our teams and lobbies stayed open, ready to help you through all your banking and mortgage needs when you needed us most. So if you're looking to upgrade where you bank, we invite you to come see our DART difference. After all, we've been doing this for over 94 years. DART Bank, for what matters most.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else. Peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemus.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet and Graf Nissan on West Grand River in Okemos. With 107 years in the automobile business, they'll take great care of you, as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. For a new or used vehicle, go green, go Graf.
Here's the give. Walker! Kenneth Walker! Touchdown! Smarty! Hello, New York! I'll see you in a minute! Rest assured, I'm gonna be there! 36, 33.
There you see Kenneth Walker's 5th and final touchdown yesterday. The most scores ever against the Michigan Wolverines, and that's Gus Johnson on the broadcast. And he's done both of Mel Tucker's wins against Michigan. Tom, I asked Jim Harbaugh about Walker after the game in the Michigan press conference and didn't get much response, and that didn't surprise me. But you've seen a lot of great backs at MSU, from Clint Jones to Lorenzo, the brothers Duckett, Javon Ringer, Le'Veon Bell, Jeremy Langford. Where would you rank Kenneth Walker III, and where would you put yesterday's performance in this series?
Well, obviously, what Kenneth Walker did was amazing to run on Michigan's defense like that. It really didn't help the cause. Michigan was running that cover too in the entire second half. Michigan State was not throwing the football, knew they weren't going to throw the football, and they ran their way back from a 17-point deficit. Amazing negative strategy for Michigan, but from a Michigan State standpoint, this kid is brilliant. And listen, this Michigan team, we talked about the players with defensive players prior to this game. We talked about Jim Harbaugh after the Northwestern game. There was a lot of respect for Kenneth Walker about his ability to get yards after contact. And we saw that obviously yesterday. Great burst of speed, a brilliant back. And, the overzealous Gus Johnson was probably spot on. He will be in New York City come Heisman time.
Rico, let's take a look at the scores by quarter for this game. And ran into at least one former Spartan, a terrific running back, and another unforgettable win, who left when MSU fell way behind. What were you thinking when the Wolverines' lead reached 30-14?
Jack, hand to God, I actually looked over to Evan Jenkins, who I worked with and do the podcast with, and I said, Evan, what would happen if Michigan State came back and won this game? Would this be the greatest comeback ever? And he looked at me and was like, are you kidding? I'm like, I got a feeling they're going to pull this thing out. And he laughed at me. And later on, he was like, how did you see that coming? I'm like, dude, I got lucky. But, yeah, when that happened, I'm like, how funny would it be if Michigan State came all the way back and won?
Tom, Sparty must have been listening when Mel Tucker said over and over before this game, just keep chopping. And how did MSU turn it around in their biggest comeback win in series history?
Well, obviously making plays in the running game. This goes back to spring ball, and we talked about this with Darian Harris about how spring drills with the physicality of this team. This is a physical football team. I've never seen any college football team that's any good that's not physical. Michigan State is physical. Yes, they trailed in all the stats, with the exception of the one that counts, the final score. They kept chopping, and I give them a ton of credit. They took advantage of some mishaps on the University of Michigan, and they won the game. They deserved to win the game. And this is really getting old. I got to tell you right now, because you can't beat their in-state rival, and you can't beat the Ohio State. It's not a good situation in Ann Arbor right now.
We'll get to that in a minute. Rico, Mel kept saying it wasn't about him, but he's done some things that no MSU coach has ever accomplished in starting 2-0 in this series. When you look at this list, why Mel Tucker?
Because Mel Tucker has made the team his, whether it's through the transfer portal, the people he brought in. He brought in 40 people that believed his idea. He also kept around people who believed in what he was doing. He put those together, and you have this team that epitomizes him.
Yeah. Tom, let's take a look at the program's other 8-0 starts, and there haven't been many. Will this be the first Spartan team to start that well and not get even a share of a championship?
Well, but this doesn't mean this isn't a negative thing about them. You're just playing with an extraordinary division in college football. I think this team is better than the 2010 team. I'll say that right now. And I think they're potentially better than the 15 team, which is an outstanding team. This is a really, really good team. And they got opportunities to get better. And they are getting better. And I would not be surprised if they went down to Columbus on the 20th of November and compete with Ohio State with a shot to win the game in the fourth quarter. It would not surprise me because of their offense. Yeah. Especially if they get Speedy Naylor back. I mean, then it's a full team.
Penn State did that last night. Rico, if you look at MSU's schedule, what will the final regular season record be? And what happens with this team after that?
11-1, Jack, and they're probably heading out to the Rose Bowl or Fiesta Bowl. Unless they play their area game against Ohio State, and then you're looking at 12-0, and all bets are off.
Yeah, I remember a time when they played in 2015 without Connor Cook, and no one thought this team would win. Some people said they lose 49-2, and all they did was win one of the great performances in Michigan State history. We'll be right back.
When you take a look inside Dart Bank, you'll find a banking experience like no other. You'll find that each of our banking offices are made of local people making local decisions. Even through these challenging times, our teams and lobbies stayed open, ready to help you through all your banking and mortgage needs when you needed us most. So if you're looking to upgrade where you bank, we invite you to come see our Dart difference. After all, we've been doing this for over 94 years. Dart Bank, for what matters most.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
The Resident, all new Tuesdays at 8 on Fox.
Hi, I'm Pat with the Holt Diamondale Insurance Agency. Do you have horses, cows, or even llamas on your farm? With Auto Owners Insurance Company, we make sure that your life events and animals are protected. Call your hometown team today.
Mid-Michigan, we're no stranger to hard work. Up before the sun, home long after it sets. We've lived through tough times, doing what it takes to keep food on the table and our families safe. If 2020 taught us anything, the way things used to be is just that. Times have changed, and so has our news. We're shining a light on Mid-Michigan and telling your stories. Stories you won't see anywhere else. Whether you're traveling along I-96 or heading up 127, we are the heart of the state. Everyone has a story, and we're here to tell it. Stories from the heart of Michigan. Fox 47 News, in your neighborhood.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Out of the Blue segment, talking Michigan Wolverines. Brought to you by nobody. There you see the victorious Spartans yesterday, including number 0, Charles Brantley. That's Herb Haygood's nephew, if you didn't know that. And Tom, I could see the steam coming from Aiden Hutchinson's ears. And is he a spectacular player or what? As good a defensive player as there is in the country. But in U of M's post-game press conference, you could really feel his pain. Probably deserved better, but just down the hall, the mood could not have been more different.
Yeah, you know, Aiden's a Michigan guy through and through. His dad was a captain, just like him, number 97, Chris Hutchinson, Aiden Hutchinson. It's real. It's personal, as we use the phrase. This was a really, really difficult loss for Michigan. It strips their credibility, and it brings back the horrific memory, or just a whole saga of Michigan under Jim Harbaugh not being able to score in the red zone. This started in the Utah game in 2015. They've been struggling ever since. You go down, you rack up over 500 yards, and you go kick 4 field goals. You don't deserve to win football games, big football games. And that is a core centerpiece of this Michigan problem is their red zone offense.
I remember Morris Watts telling Steve Grinzel and me that if you kick 2.8 field goals a game, you're going to lose 82% of them. And that's why now analytics are saying go for the touchdown when you get that opportunity more often than not. Rico, Jim Harbaugh wasn't too happy either after being upset by little brother / who's your daddy for the 4th time in 7 seasons. And then we got this shot of him at a very sad tailgate.
Yeah, not the best time for Jim. And I think it's probably because Jim knows the clock is ticking. I mean, you're now 3-9 on the road against just playing your rivals. You're probably looking at 3-10 with the Ohio State loss coming up. You haven't beat a top 10 team on the road. You got your salary cut last year. Yeah. He knows the clock is ticking, and I think that's why he was so salty yesterday.
Tom, one Ann Arbor radio personality insisted that Kenneth Walker III would be the 3rd best running back in this game. And here's another tweet that didn't age particularly well. Is this just part of the rivalry? Why so much disrespect?
Well,
why can't they just say that those were 3 great backs? I think Corum and Haskins are both going to play on Sundays. Yeah,
absolutely. And you know, this is, and you know me all along, and Rico knows me. I don't do this kind of stuff. A person who does that it's just stupid. It makes yourself look stupid and strips your credibility. I mean, I respect the rival. I knew this was going to be a tough game. And the fact that Michigan cannot beat Michigan State right now, I mean, Michigan State owns this series. I mean, they're 10-4. I mean, I go back beyond Harbaugh. I mean, Michigan State owns this series, and we know what the Ohio State situation is. I think the restructure of the buyout is going to, I mean, Jim Harbaugh is at the crossroads. Rico is dead on spot on right. He's feeling it. And what happens these next 4 games or whatever is going to determine where we're moving forward with this program. And it doesn't look good for Jim Harbaugh.
Rico, you have to hand it to much maligned U of M quarterback Cade McNamara. Shocked everyone with 28 completions for 383 yards and 2 scores. And before a spectacular pick by Brantley with 1 minute left, what did McNamara do so well, or what didn't the Spartans do to stop him?
No, Jack, I think the Spartans said they're not going to let Michigan run, and Cade McNamara has to beat them, and he almost did that. I mean, they were like, no, we're going to stop Haskins, we're going to stop Corum, and he just went back there, and he actually, it was like he grew up in front of our eyes and became a real Big Ten quarterback.
Tom, I want to take a look at the career marks versus MSU of the last 6 U of M coaches. How strange is it that Jim Harbaugh can do so well in non-rivalry games, but on the verge of losses against the Spartans, no one's had 5 of them since Bump Elliott.
You're not the 3rd highest paid coach in America to win non-rival games. I mean, you have to win big games, and you got to do it on the road. and he's not getting it done. And that's why everybody's upset. All the natives are upset in Ann Arbor and beyond. So, no, it's time. It's time to move on. I mean, he could still pull this thing off.
Yeah.
If he beats Ohio State, he's going to have a hard time against Penn State. Penn State has a terrific zone or red zone defense. That's going to be a problematic game up in State College.
Rico, looking at the Wolverines' schedule, what's the final regular season record? And if the Spartans finish 11-1, but need a U of M win over Ohio State, can you sing the victors?
No. And their final regular season record probably is going to be 9-3, especially if the Penn State game is a whiteout, Jack.
We'll be right back looking at the trophy and more.
Keep a safe distance between you and the large truck in front of you. If you can't see the driver in the mirror, they can't see you.
Save the tailgating for the game.
For more on how to keep Michigan's highways safe, go to truckingsafety.org.
It all starts with your idea, the dream of a new kitchen or bathroom, brought to reality with the help of American Home Kitchen and Bath in Okemos. From beautiful cabinets to luxurious countertops and exquisite hardware, American Home Kitchen and Bath has everything you need to create your dream kitchen and bathroom. From design to selection, our expert designers are here to help you every step of the way. Make your dream a reality today by visiting our beautiful new kitchen and bath showroom located at 5100 Marsh Road in Okemos.
We go in there and they lock the door right behind us.
I don't know how much time we have before the rioters start coming for us.
911, all new Monday at 8/7 Central on Fox, or watch anytime.
Nobody can read between the lines like Judge Judy.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else. Peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
When you take a look inside Dart Bank, you'll find a banking experience like no other. You'll find that each of our banking offices are made of local people making local decisions. Even through these challenging times, our teams and lobbies stayed open, ready to help you through all your banking and mortgage needs when you needed us most. So if you're looking to upgrade where you bank, we invite you to come see our Dart difference. After all, we've been doing this for over 94 years. Dart Bank, for what matters most.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Tracking a Trophy segment, brought to you by the Ticket Machine at the corner of Mount Hope and Hagedorn. For the best in sports and entertainment ticketing, whenever those events resume, visit Brian and his terrific staff at theticketmachine.com.
This is Sparta! This is Sparta! This is Sparta!
I just thought we'd run that 3 times in case you didn't hear it the first time. Tom, you lived in Greater Lansing for virtually your entire life. Why does Paul Bunyan seem to enjoy it here so much?
Well, I don't know if he enjoys it. I just know he's hanging out here a lot. 10 times of the last 14 or whatever it is, regardless if he enjoys it. Listen, perfect storm. Michigan State made a great hire in Mark D'Antoni off 2006. Michigan made a bad hire in 2008. The rest is history. Michigan has not been able to to basically recover from that bad hire, and they're on their 3rd bad hire. I mean, Jim Harbaugh, maybe not a bad hire, but not a rewarding hire of what he was hired to do. So kudos to Michigan State, and they made another great hire in Mel Tucker. So it's about your head coach and your program and your culture, and they've had the upper hand since obviously 2007. From 2008 on, it's all Michigan State.
Rico, taking a look at this series since Mark D'Antonio threw down the gauntlet and said, it'll never be over. It's just starting. How amazing is this? 10-4 MSU advantage. And did you catch the satisfied smile on D'Antonio's face on the field at the end of the game?
Well, absolutely, Jack. Antonio knows that the program is in good hands with Mel Tucker. He gets it. He gets the hate. And it's funny because if you go back in time, I think Michigan fans may have just let Mario Manningham drop that pass. You never hear the Mike Hart comment, and maybe Michigan State doesn't have that fire. But who would have thought that after that comment, 10-4 ever since?
Yeah, maybe if Mario had just dropped that ball, you know, things would have been different. Tom, there was a coach's handshake after the game, I guess. But Mel Tucker said that he doesn't like Michigan. And that relationship is nothing like Bo and George had, or even Izzo and Beeline.
No, it's not. And that you know, let's be real. That starts with Mark D'Antonio. I mean, this baton. And Mark D'Antonio got beaten his last two games. His last game played Michigan got beat by 34. So I think Mark D'Antonio, if he's a little bitterness, obviously towards Michigan, he dropped his last two by double digits, and you know, he's passed that bitterness on to Mel Tucker. He's still part of the program. It surprised me. I didn't think he was going to be much this part of the program. I thought he'd back away, but he seems to like the limelight of being a brand identity with this program, does Mark D'Antonio.
Rico, we are not allowed in the locker room, but Paul Bunyan obviously is. Why does he seem to be enjoying himself? In this photo, you see Kenneth Walker, and I don't know if you can see Paul laughing up there, but kind of looks like it.
Because Paul enjoys being in Michigan State. It's his home, Jack. It's where he pays his mortgage. It's where he pays his taxes. He's been here for the last 10 out of 14 years, and honestly, if I had to put money on it, he'd probably stay here next year as well.
And Michigan State is hosting Michigan again, one of those weird switches a year ago. And so this year's game was supposed to be in Ann Arbor, and last year's was supposed to be in East Lansing, but now you go back on schedule, and the 2022 game will be a little earlier in October here in East Lansing. Tom, Paul showed up just about everywhere yesterday, and he could have run for mayor of East Lansing. When you think of the strange turn of events on Halloween weekend, does October 30th, 2021 rank right behind October 17th, 2015 in terms of horror films in Ann Arbor?
No, because that was a one-punch, just hair-pulling moment that'll go down in history, and Michigan State fans will live it the rest of their life. This was different. This was a lot of different moving parts. Still as painful, though, when it was all said and done.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graff used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at graffokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
When you take a look inside Dart Bank, you'll find a banking experience like no other. You'll find that each of our banking offices are made of local people making local decisions. Even through these challenging times, our teams and lobbies stayed open, ready to help you through all your banking and mortgage needs when you needed us most. So if you're looking to upgrade where you bank, we invite you to come see our Dart difference. After all, we've been doing this for over 94 years. Dart Bank, for what matters most.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Don't miss The Masked Singer, all new Wednesdays at 8/7 Central on Fox.
Somos tu familia.
We're your friends.
I am a Michigan State trooper.
I am a Michigan State trooper.
I am
a Michigan State trooper. If you're looking for a career you can be proud of,
if you're looking to make a difference,
the Michigan State Police need people like you.
Do you have what it takes to change your community, to change your career, to change your life? Contact the Michigan State Police today to find out more.
Whether your insurance need is for business, farm and agriculture, or protecting your home and auto, experience the benefit of a local agent who cares about you with the David Chapman Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. Visit davidchapmanagency.com.
Let MSU FCU drive down your payment with a low-rate auto loan. Enjoy flexible terms and rates as low as 1.99% APR. Visit msufcu.org to refinance today.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Transportation. Dean is hiring caring and dependable people as school bus drivers in many Michigan markets. Be a hero in your community and safely transport children to and from school with Dean. For more information and to apply, visit deantransportation.com/jobs. That's deantransportation.com/jobs. There you see the Big Ten standings. And if someone had told you at the end of October, the only unbeaten team in this league, first 2 months, would be the same one that was ranked as one of the 10 worst programs in FBS by USA Today before the season, no one would have said it'd be Mel Tucker's team. But yet, there the Spartans are with 3 fewer losses than Clemson. Tom, what do you make of this Big Ten race? How many teams could still get to Indy, and which teams are we most likely to see there?
Well, let's just start with the hot mess of the West, which just absolutely stinks. I mean, I've never seen mediocrity is too nice of a term. I mean, they're all not very good teams. I mean, the 4 best teams in the Big Ten are in the East. I'll say Michigan State, Michigan, and Penn State. You know, Iowa is just twisting in the wind right now. They're fading away. Wisconsin's trudging their way back. It's just a matter of who's going to play. Probably the survivor of Ohio State and Michigan State. Michigan State has to lose twice for Michigan to get in there, and that's highly unlikely in my opinion. So it's Ohio State and Michigan State battling on the 20th, probably much to determine who goes to Indy.
Rico, could we get a UM versus U of M matchup in the Big Ten championship game? Or is the club of teams with Big Ten title game experience likely to stay with 7 members, including no teams that are U of M's?
No, I think that you pretty much are going to just get the maybe the Gophers. That's about it. I don't think Michigan's going to get in there, Jack. You're looking at Ohio State, Michigan State sitting in the wings. Who's coming out the West? I couldn't tell you, but I would say at least for now, it looks like Minnesota. Iowa looks to be frauds.
Tom, let's take a look at yesterday's games. Which winners would you not have picked?
Well, Rutgers, I mean, I thought they were, Illinois beats Penn State. They come home to Memorial Stadium, and they let Rutgers beat them. That one got my attention. And then Purdue winning in Lincoln. I mean, Nebraska, another one of those teams that I said they're checking out as despite playing so well early in the season in setbacks. Purdue's got some spunk, maybe a little momentum to make Michigan State fans nervous for maybe 2 quarters at Ross-Ade Stadium next week. But that's what sticks out with me. And then Maryland, nice win for Maryland. They're still hanging in there, and who knows? They might even give Michigan some problems second last weekend of the season.
Purdue with a couple of impressive road wins, and they have a guy who isn't that much different from Aiden Hutchinson in George Karlaftis, and with David Bell, have one of the best receivers in the country. So Michigan State's going to have to tighten that up a little bit too. Rico, as we take a look at next weekend's lineups, can you give us a surprise? Is there one game we should watch?
Well, Jack, probably that Michigan State-Purdue game to see can Michigan State hold their resolve, don't celebrate too much after beating Michigan and come back and beat Purdue. That was the one thing that Mark D'Antonio was able to do perfectly. He would get them ready and focused for that next game. Now we got to see if Mel Tucker can do that. Last year, they beat Michigan, but they lost the next game. Let's see what happens with Michigan State and Purdue.
Tom, I want to talk about the unbeaten teams, and that list is paired from 9 to 6 after this weekend, 3 of them going down. You have Michigan State, Georgia, Oklahoma, Wake Forest, Cincinnati, and Texas San Antonio. Now, no teams with more than 1 unbeaten. How many of these teams will be perfect after the conference title games?
Probably the group of 5. I mean, UTSA is a pretty good team. Cincinnati, they're not playing anybody. Wake is not playing anybody. So, I mean, ACC is almost like a group of 5 to me. But, you know, and then Georgia looked really good in the cocktail party game yesterday against Florida. They'll probably stay undefeated. Michigan State is probably not going to be undefeated, but maybe the other 5 are, or how the rest of them are. Definitely, I think, have a shot at it.
What about Oklahoma? Oklahoma have to play Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
and
they've been on borrowed time, Jack.
They have been. They have been. Rico's right.
Very fortunate, I think. They were lucky to beat Kansas.
Yeah, Bedlam could be Bedlam
Texas.
for OU.
Yeah, name the school. They've been lucky. They are the antithesis of Texas. Texas can't keep a lead, and somehow Oklahoma wins a game.
That's true.
Texas and Nebraska are the worst fourth quarter teams in the country. Rico, with the college football playoff projections being unveiled for the first time Tuesday evening, I want to take a look at the Associated Press Top 25 released this afternoon. What jumps out to you, and which 4 teams do you think the selection committee will name Tuesday night?
Well, I was shocked that Michigan State jumped Ohio State. The eyeball test says Ohio State may be better. It's Cincinnati. I think they're going to drop. They won't be in the top 4.
I can see that. A lot of people will be watching that 7 o'clock Tuesday night on ESPN. We'll be back talking Lions next.
Seeking success for yourself and others? Looking for a career that positively impacts people and communities? The Michigan Department of Corrections is hiring up to 800 corrections officers. Get paid plus benefits while you train. Make a difference while also enjoying a rewarding career. The next training academy is January 24th. Apply at michigan.gov/MDOC jobs. Join the team at the Michigan Department of Corrections, committed to protect, dedicated to success.
Get 2 rebates this month from American Metal Roofs. First, get an authorized manufacturer's rebate of up to $5,000. Plus, get a 50% rebate on our high-flow ridge vents. Call 844-METAL-ROOFs or visit
AmericanMetalRoofs.com. You work hard for your money and you deserve to keep it. Why pay $199 to jumpstart your insurance for 7 days when you can start a 6-month policy for less? 30 days with Stop Point Insurance costs less than 7 days with them. Everyone approved, no matter your driving history. Guaranteed. Call today, save today.
Dr. Leonard Hofstetter. Cool. Redefined.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as the side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus.
When you take a look inside Dart Bank, you'll find a banking experience like no other. You'll find that each of our banking offices are made of local people making local decisions. Even through these challenging times, our teams and lobbies stayed open, ready to help you through all your banking and mortgage needs when you needed us most. So if you're looking to upgrade where you bank, we invite you to come see our Dart difference. After all, we've been doing this for over 94 years. Dart Bank, for what matters most.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. Stop and see Chuck, Delita, and their terrific staff for the best in Mediterranean food. That's why I'm there every week. Darius Slay returns to Ford Field. And how about that for a homecoming? picks up a fumble, goes 33 yards for a touchdown, 44-6 win over Detroit today. Rico, I don't know how well you knew Darius when he was here playing for Detroit, but he was one of my favorite Lions to cover and talk to after the game. And I was glad when he was allowed to escape. It was like a Shawshank Redemption moment for him.
You know what, Jack? That's a great way of putting it. I got to know him a couple times in the locker room, but yeah, he was better than being here, and he spoke out, and he was a vocal leader, and the current regime at the time didn't want that. They wanted a bunch of yes men, so they got rid of him and tried to tell you that he wasn't any good and drafted Jeff Okudah in his place. Yeah, that didn't work out so well.
All right, Tom, let's take a look at the Lions' worst performance this season, a 38-point loss to a 3-5 Philadelphia Eagles team. In today's NFL, how does a team lose by that much at home when the visitors only throw for 114 yards?
Yeah, you know, last week's show, if you recall, I think when you were asking me when's the Lions going to win their first game, I said it was much later in the year. I think either you and or Rico thought it might be this Philly game.
Yeah.
And that issue was dropped right off the bat. I think the Lions I think the Lions play better in this terrible season, as all bad teams do, on the road, because you don't have to deal with the wrath of their fans. I think they're more comfortable on the road. You look at their performances this year, it's been better on the road than it's been at Ford Field for the most part. And I think that this was like checking out, man. Now they got the bye week. They're going to go back to their houses and reboot. But this team could go winless the whole way, guys. I'm serious. I think this could legitimately happen.
Rico, the Lions' losing streak is now 12 games and counting. We're talking about 4 last year and the first 8 this year. What happened to the Detroit team that lost twice on long last snap field goals and really could have beaten the Rams last week, led 19-17 in the fourth quarter, and they had another chance to take the lead, only for a tremendous interception by Jalen Ramsey?
Jack, I don't know. Maybe it's when they're counted out that they feel they can rally together, but I think that, you know, he's able to get them motivated for a game, but they're starting to check out, and losing just makes you not really want to get up and really go as hard, because you start, I mean, it's contagious. I mean, winning's contagious, losing's contagious. Tom Brady shows you the positive side of winning. The Lions show you the opposite side, that is called losing.
Speaking of Tom Brady, I thought he was going to have another miracle today against New Orleans, but didn't quite work out that way. Not the best week for the University of Michigan in terms of the football field.
Yes,
Tom, let's take a look at the NFC North standings. Yes, the shorthanded Packers had a terrific win at Arizona Thursday. Don't know exactly how they did that with so many people out, including Devontae Adams. But the other 3 teams are somewhere between poor and pathetic. Is this the worst division in pro football, even worse than the NFC and AFC East?
Oh, God, yes. And as we're taping this, I think the Cowboys and the Vikings tonight, I'm not sure if Dax is going to play in that game. Yeah, Vikings probably lose. It's the worst division, obviously. I mean, it's a one-team division. And I did watch that Packers game over the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a good team.
Yeah.
And they made a play. This is what a team making a play in dire needs, a defensive player making a play. Packers are good. Packers could have a shot of going far into the playoffs, but the rest of those teams are pathetic. The Bears are bad. The Lions are the worst team in football, worst franchise. It's just a bad division all the way around.
Well, with Aaron Rodgers, there's so much confidence, and not just as a Jeopardy host. They're talking about somebody who it doesn't matter what the score is. They always believe they can win, and you have to believe before you achieve. Rico, let's take another look at the Lions' schedule. Yes, we have to. Heading into the bye week, okay, they come back and they have 9 more opportunities to win. Is it finally time to talk about an 0-17 season, breaking the 0-16 record for futility?
Depends on what happens on December 12th at the Broncos. I think that they would lose. Here's the funny thing, Jack. I asked my guy in Vegas. He actually favored the 0-16 team to beat this team by 6.5 points. Seriously. Who's going to cover Calvin? That's how bad this team is.
They'll beat the Seahawks.
I want to see the spread on the matchup between that team and this one. We'll be right back talking baseball next.
It all starts with your idea, the dream of a new kitchen or bathroom, brought to reality with the help of American Home Kitchen and Bath in Okemos. From beautiful cabinets to luxurious countertops and exquisite hardware, American Home Kitchen and Bath has everything you need to create your dream kitchen and bathroom. From design to selection, our expert designers are here to help you every step of the way. Make your dream a reality today by visiting our beautiful new kitchen and bath showroom located at 5100 Marsh Road in Okemos.
When you make a same-game parlay bet on FanDuel Sportsbook, you can make this, plus this, then this, all add up to...
No way. No way. No way. We did it. We did it. I did it.
all game long. With FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, make all your favorite moments of the game add up to one awesome moment. New customers get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. FanDuel, make every moment more.
The world's first Avatar singing competition, Alter Ego, all new Wednesdays on Fox.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graff used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at graffokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton, South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most. There you see the story of the 2021 World Series through 4 games. Truth be told, we are taping during Game 5 in Atlanta, Truist Park. Rico, did you go to church 3 times this week with Michigan State's classic win yesterday and your Braves jumping out to a 3-1 World Series lead?
Jack, that's between me and God. That's none of your business. But man, oh man, it did feel. Yesterday was like, wow, to watch that Michigan State victory and then watch the Braves come from behind in the 7th inning with the 2 home runs. Yeah, I had a pretty good night last night.
So how has Atlanta, winner of just 88 games in the regular season and one that wasn't over 500 for a lot of the year, been so good in October?
You know what, Jack? They actually did a lot what Mel Tucker did in the middle of the season, the trade deadline. They just pushed all their chips in, and they flipped their squad, and they brought in guys like Eddie Rosario, and they brought in, they strengthened up the bullpen, and now they call the night shift. They brought in a lot of players and just said, we're going for it. And ever since that, the trade deadline, they became one of the best teams in baseball.
And you wonder how good they would have been if Ronald Acuna Jr., I think he's one of the 5 or 10 best players in the game, hadn't been lost for the year, and they had to make some other changes, and now they're trying to get this done without Charlie Morton, who broke his leg. So it's going to be saying a lot if the Braves can seal the deal here, and maybe by the time you watch this, they will have already done that. If not, they'll be heading back to Houston for a Game 6. Tom, you covered sports in Houston, and what happened in games 1 and 2 of the World Series in South Texas? And did the Astros relax a little bit or just run into a red-hot team?
Well, the Braves did what they had to do. I mean, all they had to do is get a split because the Braves at home have been undefeated in postseason play going into tonight. But they knocked Valdez out in the 3rd inning. They got a good jump out of the gate, took that crowd out of play in Game 1, got their split, and then went back to Atlanta and did the heroics like we talked about last night. So this is a red hot team. Rico's right; they made all the necessary changes early on. They tweaked the engine there, and they've been the hottest team. It's baseball is who's ever hot. It's like anything in sports in playoffs. Who's going in red hot? Just like the NCAA basketball tournament, they're certainly hot. And as we're sitting right now, it looks like this is all but over for Atlanta.
Yeah, the idea is to get in, get healthy, and get hot. And if you can do that, you've got a great chance to win a championship. Rico, once these teams headed to Atlanta, the Braves took complete control. Pitchers combined for a one-hitter that could have been a no-no with a little more effort in left field. And then the hitters took care of a comeback last night with back-to-back homers. Is Atlanta ready for its first world championship since 1995?
Yeah, Jack, but you know what? You guys keep crowning them, and hopefully when this plays, they have won it all. The city of Atlanta needs this because they still remember the 28-3 Super Bowl. The Braves from the 90s are playing the Yankees will always find a way to lose. Last year, they're up 3-1 to the Dodgers, and they found a way to lose to them. I don't want to say they're choke city, but I'm not going to be happy until somebody is squeezing the ball for that final out and they win the game.
Yeah, it won't quite mean as much as Georgia football. We'll be right back.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graff used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you a free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at graffokemus.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Thursday Night Football on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video.
Keep a safe distance between you and the large truck in front of you. If you can't see the driver in the mirror, they can't see you.
Save the tailgating for the game.
For more on how to keep Michigan's highways safe, go to truckingsafety.org. Live uncommon. Check out Concordia University, Ann Arbor today.
Fox 47 and Trips Collision Center are proud to make this month's 3-degree guaranteed donation to the League of Enchantment, bringing hope and smiles to kids and kids at heart.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for a cool and smooth segment brought to you by 4 great Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Okemos North and South, North Lansing, and West Lansing. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. Swing through any Culver's drive-thru and grab your fresh favorites. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious.
Michigan State is our little brother. Now, I know what you're thinking. In 2009 to 2013, when I was there, did Michigan State donk us? Yes, there's no question. And I'm not here to talk about when I was there. I'm here to talk about now. Michigan's number 2 defense in the country. I'm not here to talk about Georgia's number 1. Michigan, the boys in blue, are the number 2 defense in the country. Our offense, yeah, they say we're run heavy. They say we do that, but our pass game's really coming along. Overall, Michigan State is going to get donkeyed at home in East Lansing, whatever that podunk count is. They're going down. Michigan's going home, taking Paul Bunyan, and kindly, I'm not going to say the F word, but Michigan State. You know what I'm saying? Not going to say the F word, but Michigan State. Okay?
There you see Taylor Lewan and Xavier Henderson had a few words for him after the game in a very interesting soliloquy introduction to his press conference. And I said that Lewan's speech there, the last time he was that clueless was when he was trying to block Will Golston and Shalik Calhoun. Gentlemen, what about our weekly awards and the best performers of the week? All right, team 422, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion. Rico, what do you have for us for our play of the week?
Jack, play of the week. I could take so many plays from that game that happened with Michigan State's victory over Michigan 37-33. Kenneth Walker had 5 touchdowns, but my play is not one of those, Jack. My play is a play that may get buried in the history books, and only people like you will write books about it later. But I'm going to go with the 4th and 1 when Thorne drops back and hits Jalen Reed deep for almost a touchdown. Michigan was up 30-14, and at that point, if they don't get that first down, this game is over. That's how crucial that play was to the game.
And had another 4th down completion deep in the first half. A couple of very gutsy calls, and Michigan State needed both of them and every other play that they could muster to get past a Michigan team. Tom, I told your buddy John Borton at the elevator that I actually gained more respect for Michigan's team in defeat than I had coming into the game.
Really?
And, in my rankings, I have them pretty close now. I have Michigan number 8. So,
well, mine. I disagree with you. I agree with Rico though. That was a big time play, and that's making plays. You've got to make plays. That's red zone stuff that I can't relate to. My team of the week though. You know how I like to go local, and I really don't have a choice but going local. Giving it to Michigan State. I mean,
there we go.
16-point deficit, and Michigan had it cooking with that aerial game. They got a little bit away from that, but it's like, it's that Mel Tucker, it's that culture thing. Keep fighting, keep chopping, and stuff like that, and keep being physical. Keep that crowd involved. But they got it to 30-22, and going for 2-point conversions. That's red zone offense. I envy Michigan State, my team of the week.
All right, for our player or players of the week, we're going to stay right there. And we have 2, actually. How about East Lansing's Andrell Anthony? We kept hearing he was doing good things in practice, but hadn't shown up in the games. How about a 93-yard touchdown early in the game, and then another score, 6 catches for 155 yards. Spectacular performance, coming out party for Andrell Anthony. And I know a lot of Trojans will be thrilled and look forward to watching him. And Kenneth Walker, K9 the Spartan Dog. He is the Walter Camp Offensive Player of the Week for the nation. 197 ties the 3rd best figure in a Michigan game, and the first guy to have 5 scores against the Wolverines. I want to thank Rico Beard and Tom Crawford. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you next week.